Welcome back, everyone! This is Journitis, bringing you Feed the Beast 1710. Today we are starting on episode 57, and today we're going to start automating Botania with applied energistics. This actually is going to be a lot of fun, I think. I'll have to figure out a couple of the applied energistic mechanics that I've never put together before, but again, just like last episode, I know how they're supposed to work. I just never actually put them together before. So let me just tell you this real quick. At the end of last episode, I was trying to decide how I was going to make this section work over here. What I wound up doing was having two interfaces down on the underside. You can see them just on the very bottom there. Interfaces, by the way, don't have to be complete blocks. You can actually change them into multi-part blocks and back again like that. So that's actually very simple. So I just put two ME interfaces down on the bottom side of that. And if we look at our interface terminal, we can see here that in the normal chest we have how to make the various things that get dropped in the water, that being pure Certus quartz, Fluix crystal, pure nether quartz, and pure Fluix. And that goes into the normal chest, and the normal chest gets dropped straight into the open crate. Now, I was originally going to put the interface directly to the open crate and have it, just put it straight into the open crate that way. Unfortunately, an interface directly into the open crate, for some reason that just doesn't function. I was testing it and trying to make it work, making the Fluix crystals, and it would drop 2 out of 3 items. And in my case, it wouldn't drop the nether quartz, and I don't know why. If I do it with the chest, it works every time. So it's some sort of weird interaction between the interface and the open crate. I talked to a couple of fellow Pandemic crafters, Evil Talking Pie being specific, and he said that if you use a buffer chest, it works every time, and it's probably just a bug with the open crate. So that being the case, I went ahead and did this way. And then, of course, the Skystone chest is for all of the inscribers and the Certus Quartz Charger. And as we can see down here, the Skystone chest has the 3 processors and then the charged Certus Quartz. So we have that available. I also went ahead and taught the system how to make Certus Quartz dust and Fluix dust, because I knew that we would have that need eventually as well. So now that we have that done, we need to look at a couple of things. First off, I went ahead and put an elevator in right here and made a pathway over here that is going to lead to my Botania underground. I went ahead and cleared out this section right here. This is where the chickens were, in case you were wondering. The chickens have been relocated. They are now in a hole in the ground down here. They really don't need all that much space, and I've got my magnet on. Anyway, they really don't need all that much space because they're just standing there laying eggs, and, well, it may not be the most humane thing to do for them, but I honestly just don't care at this point. But anyway, so I needed the space, so I moved them down there, and wow, I've got all the cakes stored up. I wound up, because I hadn't generated mana in a while, I wound up having to do something because I had excess amount of eggs building up. And so I went ahead and expanded the egg inventory to hold 320 stacks. That way it has extra. If it ever gets to 320 stacks of eggs, and what I really need to do is just make it so I can hold more cakes. But unfortunately, I have to take the barrels up, empty the barrels out, expand both barrels, and then put them back and resonate them together again. And I probably will do that. I just didn't feel like doing it at that moment. So we're going to be using this space here to go ahead and automate the Botania stuff. Okay. So what I want to do is, first off, I want to make it so that we can automatically make living wood and living rock. Okay. And to do that, I've seen it done with Steve's Factory Manager. I've done it with Steve's Factory Manager. Steve's Factory Manager is boring. I don't want to use Steve's Factory Manager. We're going to use Applied Energistics to do it instead. But to do that, we're going to have to run the Applied Energistics system. Well, I don't have to run it all the way over there. I could do it right here. But if I'm going to do the automation, I'm going to do it over here in the Botania section. Now, it's going to actually require the other automation of Botania is going to require applied energistics, and I'm going to wind up running it over here for that purpose anyway. So we're going to go ahead and just do that and be done with it. All right, so that being the case, we need to, oh yeah, I put the elevator in. How do I get out of here again? So anyway, so I need to run cable all the way over there, and I'm going to use quite a few channels, so we're going to have to do this in a very specific way. Also, I actually made it so that we no longer use this lever. I'm just going to leave the critical growth accelerators on pretty much full time now. I don't really have to do this that way, but I've decided that that's just the more convenient way at the moment. I don't really have a way to turn them on and off based on whether there's items in the water or not. So I'm just going to leave them on all the time and be done with it. So that being the case, I can probably, yeah, we're going to break this right here, leave that piece out, and just hook this in straight. And now they're on all the time. It is wasteful of power, but my power is being generated by coal, and I've had infinite coal since, what, episode 12? When I got my nether farm set up, so I'm not gonna, complain about that. All right, so now what I need to do is run cable all the way the length of this. Now, if I run normal cable, then I'll only have 8 channels over there, and I don't want just 8 channels. I need more channels than that for what I'm going to do. However, I don't want to run dense cable all the way down that way, so we're going to make some point-to-point tunnels, okay? Point-to-point tunnels, or P2P tunnels, they're basically like creating little wormholes in the system. I don't know how exactly to explain it other than to say it's like having a wormhole in the system. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, and this is the line that runs to the 2 interfaces like I was telling you about for these patterns right here. I'm going to go ahead and knock this line out and bring the dense cable down to here and then run this line off over that way. And then I'm going to run the dense cable into the point-to-point stuff, and then we'll run it across there. So let's go ahead and grab the cable. Very limited amounts of this. Yeah, covered cable, that's fine. All right, and we're going to go ahead and make ourselves 2 P2P tunnels. Okay, now each P2P tunnel has a different purpose. This one is for EU. When we get doing industrial craft, then this might be useful. Same thing here, redstone signals, items, light. I don't understand what light is. That one's a new one that I know nothing about. Fluid, ME, and RF. We're going to be making the ME version, and we're going to need 2 of them. And that's going to work out rather nicely. Now, along with this, we're going to need a couple of a memory card. All right, and that is this right here. We should have that. No problem again. Now, again, I've never actually put one of these together. I know the theory of it, but I've never actually done it. So let's see how painful this winds up being. So first things first, we need to knock this out right here. And we're going to go ahead and put dense cable down through to this point down here. All right, so now we should be able to hook the P2P channel here. And now we see that we have the P2P tunnel is facing up. And I wish I could fly. I've really got to get myself creative mode flight. It's a lot easier to do this with creative mode flight. Anyway, so the P2P channel is facing up. So you have the dense cable, and it's using 2 out of 32 channels. It's going into this P2P tunnel, okay? So we're going to go ahead and then run some normal cable off the back of this. And we're going to run it down the hallway to the applied energistics, section, to the Botania section, okay? So give me a second. I'm going to run this down there, and then I'll come back and show you how the rest of this is going to work. All right, so now we've got the cable run all the way down through there, and as you can see right here, if we look at the smart cable that I put right here, it says 1 of 8 channels. Okay, that one channel is the P2P tunnel, okay? And when we go down to the other side, we're going to go ahead and put the other P2P tunnel on the other side here. And it's basically creating a wormhole in the system. It's the easiest way for me to explain it. It's not the greatest way, but it's an easy way. So now this one has 2 of 8 channels because it now has this P2P tunnel on there as well. So if we go back over to this one over here, it's going to show 2 tunnels. 2 channels are now being used as well because this is a little sub-network section, and it's using the transfer from the P2P to the P2P, and that is, taking up the 2 channels from between the 2 P2Ps. So it's counting as the P2Ps only and nothing else in between. All right, so now if we look right here at the P2P tunnel and we right-click this with our memory card, it says invalid machine. Shift right-click. There we go. Shift right-click, successfully saved settings. Okay. Now basically what's going on here is we have a ME dense cable with 2 channels used going into the P2P channel tunnel. Okay. And we are now saving that that is what's going in on this end. Okay, so now when we get down from here, if we can get down from, I could do that too. So now we take this memory card and we go over to the other side and we right click here and it says successfully loaded settings. Okay, now basically what it did was it said, hey, that piece over there and this piece over here are now directly linked through this. Okay, so this is the entrance to the wormhole and the other one is the exit to the wormhole, and on the other side is the entrance and this is the exit. It just depends on which way you're going. Okay, so you have huge amounts of stuff can go through a wormhole, but there's only a small amount of space in between. It basically compresses it down and sends it through at a very high, speed. Okay, so this is essentially a wormhole in the ME system. It is the only way I can think to explain it. If that's ludicrous to somebody, I apologize, but that's how I know to do it. So then we're going to go ahead and put a dense cable here, and what we will see is this has, it should have 2 of 32 channels being used. At least I thought it would. 0 of 32 channels. I thought since I was using 2 channels on this one, that it would take 2 channels over there as well. Well, that's interesting. Well, in the worst case, well, you know what, that's fine. That's fine. I guess I've got that part wrong. Whatever, I'm not going to argue with it. Alright, so now that we have the ME system run to over here, we're going to go ahead and make ourselves our ME system to make living rock and living wood. Alright, so the first thing we're going to want is some annihilation planes and some formation planes. And basically they are block breakers and block placers of the ME system. Okay, so I believe, yeah, here we go. And the annihilation plane actually shouldn't be too bad. You know what? Let's go ahead and just teach the system how to make it, because that would be easier. Oh no! We are out of blank patterns. Here. Make me 20 more of them. Got it. Start. Come on. Shouldn't take that much time. Oh, are we? We're having to... No? Okay, yeah, it's making them. It's just working on it. Okay, yeah, because we're having to craft up everything. Okay, that's fine. We'll have a couple of them made already, so let's just go ahead and make this. We don't actually need that many for this, but... Yeah, we got 16 made. We actually only need a couple. So let's go ahead and look at the planes. Alright, so the annihilation plane is this pattern. Seriously, guys? Okay. I've got to make a couple of prerequisites to get this working, so... Let's see. Here, make me 10 of these just for fun. Start, please. It should only take just a second. And while we're thinking about this, let's go ahead and look at what else is needed for the planes. You need that, we got that, and we should now have one of these. Good, encode that. Wait, no. No. Not a processing pattern, a crafting pattern, and we want to encode this. You're killing me here. Okay, now, okay, that's, brain power. Oh, and now you're going to show me? Fine, whatever. Encode to that. That's the annihilation plane. And this one is going to be the formation plane, the difference being the annihilation core or the formation core. You're really just going to be that touchy, aren't you? This is why you should always program these things into your system before you go starting to try to do this. I should have done this before I started recording the episode. That way it would just be programmed in already. No, I don't need to program it to make these. I need these so that I can program it to make these. See, it really should let you just do this in code. There we go. Okay, good. Now we've got something working here. And we can go ahead and toss these in over here. Alright, so now we can go ahead and request it to make some of these planes. Alright, so we are going to need 8 of each. That's good, and that's good. So now we should be working rather nicely to go ahead and make these. Did I just make 16 of the same ones? I don't think I did. Now, it said it was crafting fluix. Did that just happen that quickly, or? Oh, yeah, we're done. That was quick. And we now have 8 of each of these. And that's exactly how many we're going to use. Alright, so now that we have the formation planes and the annihilation planes, basically they're block placers and block breakers for the ME system. I already said that. So what we're going to need, let's see, we're going to need the interface here. We're going to need some import bus, an import and an export bus, actually, I believe is what we're going to wind up doing here. And yep, we're going to need the storage bus as well. Let's see, we're going to need the import bus, and I think that's it, other than a chest. Actually, we're going to need 2 chests to be technical. And of course, we're going to need the Pure Daisy, which, by the way, I imported everything into the ME system from the Botania section. So, alright, so now we should be able to go down here, except I need 1 piece of dirt. Thank you. It would have been hilarious to have to come all the way back here just for that. Alright, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to build this in to automatically work whenever I need this stuff, okay? So what we're going to have here is, let's see, we're going to have a interface that's going to hook on right here. Okay, and this interface is where we're going to put the patterns for processing. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and put some cable. Let's see, we're going to run off of here. And let's see, we're going to put the Pure Daisy here. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and put oh hey, giant hole in the ground, always beautiful. And then we're going to go ahead and run some of the cable down here. Get out of my way. Alright, so then we're going to have the cable here. And let's see. Now I've got to do this exactly right or it's not going to work. We're going to have the cable run up here, and we're going to have the annihilation planes down here. Oops. Hey, no. Stop that. Alright, and as you can see, the annihilation planes don't look quite slick because they don't have any power. Alright. That's the other thing I was going to need. I need... Well, actually, that's fine. That's fine. So we're going to need to put the storage chest right here. And we're going to go ahead and put the storage bus on this piece right here. Storage bus, and then the chest. Okay? And then what we need is to get some power down here so that these can work. Now, we want to run power down here, but we don't want to run data. Okay? We only want to have power running. Oh, it's going to be more than 8 channels because I've got 8 annihilation planes and the chest and the storage bus. How am I going to do that? You know, I'm just not. I'm just going to do 7. I technically can if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to. I could put another ME controller there to give it more than the 8 channels that it's currently working with, but I really don't want to do that. So I'm going to need some cable that's going to run ME power, but not run any of the data line. So that is going to come in the way of glass cable. No, that's not it. It's the quartz cable. Where is it? Glass cable. Here we go. Quartz fiber. And we're going to need just a couple of these. I knew I forgot something. All right, so now coming down from right here, we want to hook in right here. No, I want you to hook in like that. Wow. You're really not supposed to travel very far with these. Now, why is this behaving like that? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, just bear in mind that I've never built one of these before. I know the theory, but that's it. And that probably knocked out the storage bus, but that's okay. So we're going to run this cable up here, and we're going to hook this cable in right here, and that's going to transfer power down to these, but not data. So we should have power leaching off of right here, and thus working its way down here. Unless I did something wrong, which seemingly I did. Why aren't these powered? This is supposed to work. I'm obviously doing something wrong that I don't know what it is. This is supposed to draw power off of right there, but I don't know why it's not. Hang on a second, let me figure this out. Alright, that was kind of silly of me. I forgot to power the P2P channel. Putting the quartz fiber here and running the quartz fiber into the P2P channel is powering the channel. I should have known when it didn't show that. It said 2 of 8 channels, but it didn't actually show the lines, okay? So we're drawing power here and powering the P2P tunnels. Because the P2P tunnels didn't have any power, I couldn't draw power from them over to here. Now, I could draw power from here, but this wasn't connecting either because the P2P channel wasn't being powered and therefore wasn't functioning. Alright, so now that the P2P is working, it actually can have power drawn from it, and now we actually have a functioning system. Now, again, we want to make sure that this quartz fiber is here because we don't want this network to be hooked in over here. This needs to be, the annihilation planes need to be on their own separate setup, okay? That's why there's only 7 of them. That's why this is set up the way it is, all right? So now, one of the things we need to do is we need to grab a couple examples of what we're trying to craft. In other words, we need to grab some living rock and living wood. Okay, one of these and one of these. All right, and this is actually very important, so just keep this in mind. I'm missing something. I know I'm forgetting something, and I just completely blanked out on what it is. Anyway, so we want to configure this storage bus by right-clicking on it, and we want to have it say that only living wood and only living rock can be stored in the container that this storage bus is set on. Okay? That means that if any time that there is, actually let's just use this as a good example. On the annihilation planes, if there's living rock, it gets sucked in. If it's living wood, it gets sucked in. If it's anything else, it does not. Okay, now the reason it's not being sucked in is because the storage bus says that only living wood and living rock can be stored in this chest. Okay, so the annihilation plane will not break the dirt because it has nowhere to put the dirt once it's broken. Okay, so that means that this chest can only take specific items. That means that this annihilation plane will only break specific items. Okay, so that being the case, this is now going to function. All right, so let's see. Now we want to go ahead and get the second piece set up. This is going to be a little bit more fun. The placing of this is going to be rather touchy. We're going to have to place these out through here and have half a brain about how I'm doing it. Don't need that one or that one. And now we're going to place the formation planes down here. All right, and they're going to be facing down at the annihilation planes. Let's see if I can do this right. Just like that. All right, so now we have the formation planes hooked in here, and we need to go ahead and hook the formation planes to a import bus. Did I bring the bus? Yes, I did. Excellent. And we're going to hook the import bus onto this chest. And we're going to go ahead and connect it here. Okay, now what this is going to do is anything that winds up in this chest will be imported, and then the items that are imported into this network are going to go straight to the formation planes, and the formation plane is going to automatically place them in the world. Now we can actually choose, it says will be placed as blocks or will be dropped as items. Okay, so we want these placed as blocks. Alright, so that being set up that way, we can go ahead and hook this thing up. Now these formation planes will look funny because they don't have power. Okay, so we need to get this hooked in with power as well. Okay, so let's see, we should have one piece for the import bus and then 7 for the others. So that means we need to go ahead and hook this up here, and then we're going to go ahead and connect to power but not data as well. No. Because these are technically their own networks. Alright, and then this should allow me to do this. And now these should be drawing power. Yep, and you can see that they're looking really cool too. Alright, so the last thing we need to do is teach the system how to make living rock and living wood. Alright, so let's go over to our interface terminal, our pattern terminal that is, and we're going to teach it that 1 oak wood in a processing pattern is going to equal, let's see, 1 living rock for a second, and then 1 living wood. Alright, so 1 oak wood equals 1 living wood, and we encode that, and then we go ahead and change it to say that 1 stone one smooth stone equals 1 living rock, and encode that as well. Alright, so then we're going to go down here. Now, actually I can probably place these in the pattern terminal. Let's see, I'm looking, oh, see now it shows 2 chests, but it's not going to show the difference between the two. I probably can just put this in like that, but I'm not going to, because, yeah, just not. Alright, so now what we're going to wind up doing is in this interface, we're going to teach it that this and this equals that and that. Alright, so now when we choose to do this, when we tell it to make it, it's going to export, it's going to pull from the system, pull either stone or wood, put it in this chest. It's going to be imported from this chest to the formation planes. The formation planes are going to place them on top of the annihilation planes. Then the pure daisy will go to work. Okay, once the pure daisy does its work and they change over into the living version of themselves, the annihilation plane will say, hey, we're allowed to pick those up, and it will pick them up and toss them into this chest. Okay, so then we're going to want a import bus to import from that chest into the main ME network. See, I knew I forgot something. One more of these, please. I didn't expect this to take all episode, but I did kind of derp around a little bit, so my apologies for that. So now we want to go ahead and hook this import bus in here, and then hook it up to the rest of the main system, which is going to be... uh-oh. That's going to be an issue. I'm going to need some cable anchors, which I did not anticipate having to make. But that's okay. Close proximities. Well, you know, I can actually do it without cable anchors. Well, it's good to show you guys cable anchors anyway. Don't worry, I'll figure it out eventually. All right, cable anchors are actually very simple. I didn't make a cutting knife. Huh, interesting. Anyway, cable anchors are going to basically be used to stop cables from attaching to other cables. In this case, we're going to do it right over here. Now, if I were to place this right here, you can see that it attaches to the P2P network, but it also attaches to the interface. And we don't want that because that's connecting those two setups, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the cable anchor and we're going to place it here. And that's going to stop this from interacting with that. See? It now is placeable, but it doesn't actually join up. And now we can hook that in there, and it works just fine. Now it says over here that we have 2 of 32 channels being used here, and that is the import bus here and the ME interface here. All right, cool. So now what we want to do is, now I can actually request the stuff, right? So let's go over here, and I'll go ahead and say, hey, give me some living wood and living rock. Just for fun of it, let's go ahead and yeah, get out of there and you get out of there. Okay, so give me, we have a total of 7 spaces down there. Give me 4 of these and give me 3 of these. Oh wait, it says no crafting CPUs are available. Okay, now the reason that is because right now this one right here is crafting these and nothing else can work until it finishes crafting those. Okay, so what we're going to need to do, I believe we need to make a co-processing unit. Okay. The co-processing unit shouldn't be a big deal. Right, there we go. And when we attach this to this, it should then make it so that it can do 2 things at once. And I think I just reset the system. Yeah, I did. That's okay. Give me that. And then, sure, let's just do 5 of those too. Oh no, huh. I thought the co-processing unit would do that. I've got that wrong. Interesting. I guess I'm going to have to do another storage. I thought the coprocessor would make this function faster. But in any case, let's go down here real quick and see how this is working. We should see this placed and waiting to form. And due to server tick rate problems, it's actually showing that it's changed, but it hasn't. So this is actually functioning. We should have... yeah, well, those are just sitting there, but whichever. As these finish, they'll get imported into the system here. And then, yeah, the annihilation planes will store them in here, and then the import bus will import them from there up through there, and it now will work. Okay, so one other thing I want to do, and yes, we're gonna have to do a second processing, crafting, storage piece. Give me a second to make one. All right, got those 2 made. I'm just gonna toss them here and here, just for the fun of it. And it now shows that we are at 12 out of 32 channels coming out of this side. So hooray! All right, so now that we have these here, we should be able to go ahead and have it process more. Now, instead of actually ordering this stuff, because you don't want to have to sit there and wait for the pure days to do work, right? It's like, well, I need some living wood. Let me tell the system to make me some, and then I'll sit here for a long time, and then, you know, eventually it'll get here. No, we don't want that. All right, so what we want to do instead is we're going to do a couple of things here. We're going to tell this thing that we want living wood and living stone, and while I'm at it, we're going to go ahead and have these processors here, and because I just had to wait for a while these were making, and I don't want to have to ever do that. So we're going to go ahead and use this storage interface, or this ME interface, and we're going to tell it, hey, I want you to keep these items in stock in this interface at all times. Okay, now I don't want just one. Let's see. We're going to tell it to keep a stack of each at all times. Okay. Now the problem is that we don't have a stack of each, right? But we're going to go ahead and tell it to keep a stack anyway. Now, because it can't keep more than it already has, we need to go ahead and make this thing capable of making the stuff as well. Okay, so we'll just use this as an example. I'll fill in these to the 64s here in just a second. This space right here, we need to fill it in with a card. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and tell this thing that we want a crafting card. Okay, do I have the stuff necessary for that? Nope, but it'll be done this quick. Alright, so now with the crafting card, we are actually going to say, hey, I want you to keep this much stuff in here. So now with that crafting card active, we should be able to look here. And as you can see, it is now trying to make the extra stuff. Okay, and it says it's crafting it. Alright, so now it's basically got all that stuff constantly being run over there. Alright, so now as it makes, it'll get imported and then put here in the interface. The problem with that is that the stuff that's here, it shows that we have 20 living wood right here, right? But if we look in here, it doesn't show that we have living wood at all. See, it shows that it's in that interface, but it's not showing it there. So we're going to need another storage bus. Please tell me I have the stuff. Oh, excellent. Alright, so now if we hook a storage bus on here, and then hook that to... Ooh, actually, this is going to work out rather nicely. Right here. Sweet. So we're going to hook the storage bus right there, and we're going to need... I put all the cable away. Dadgummit. One piece of cable is all I need. And now we actually are showing, by hooking this in... Uh-oh. Nope, that's not going to work. It hooked in that way. We're going to need another cable anchor because we don't want hooking in. We don't want to hook into the P2P. And I just broke the P2P completely off of there. Beautiful. Smart cable, please. And then the cable anchor. And this is going to break this horribly, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it too greatly at this point. Okay, yeah, I am going to need 2 cables. I was wondering why that looked strange. Sorry we're running over on the episode, by the way. I know it's getting a little bit long, but you understand where this is going, so if you want to skip the end, that's fine. I understand. Alright, so we put that there, then the storage bus here, and then we hook the cable in here and here. Alright, so now it's able to see what's available in the system, and it will go ahead and be making the rest of this stuff. Now, it may just right now go ahead and remake all the stuff because... Oh, no, it's still keeping track. Excellent. Uh-oh. Why isn't that working? Why isn't the annihilation plane annihilating these, and why isn't the import bus importing these? What happened? What's the problem here? It's showing the powers there. We're drawing power from here, so the annihilation planes should be working, but they're not. I have obviously made some sort of strange mistake here. They were working. Breaking the P2P channel. Oh! Okay. I broke the P2P channel, so it's probably lost its memory. So, yeah, let me fix this real quick. Save the settings, and now a bit over here. This is working now. Don't know what's going on. I'll figure it out, and I'll tell you about it next episode. So until next time, this is Jeronitis saying, It's driving me nuts. This isn't working. Crud, hang on. Okay, I got it. That was stupid. I was loading the wrong settings on the P2P tunnel. So now the P2P is working, and that's the whole reason it wasn't working before. So now we have that functioning there. This is actually doing exactly as it's supposed to, and oh, look at that. We're actually seeing it happen right now. And it's being broken, replaced, imported into the system that quick. And it's currently waiting to do some oak wood as soon as this gets done. So cool. We have now automated the creation of living wood and living rock with applied energistics. Sorry that took a little bit longer than intended, but I still think, it's cool. It's cool. I think it's really well done. And next episode, we're going to start automating some other Botania stuff, like runes and petals and such. So until next time, this is Juronitis signing off on episode 57 of my Let's Play series. Like me if you like me, subscribe if you want to see what we get into next, and as always, help spread the gaming!